I got a request the other week to do a little more in-depth video of the 1972, and so I'll do that and show you what I've done with the car. First of all, the back end here, taillights were essentially fine. The bumpers, the back and the front, I had new bumpers, bought new bumpers for that, and I put them on. That honeycomb there in the center, originally that piece was missing, and it wasn't a honeycomb, it was kind of like a grained metal, black metal plate that was essentially missing. So since then I've gotten a replacement for that, but I like the honeycomb grill here, which was associated with the fastback. So I got that. The gas cap is new, and the spoiler there in the back is also associated with the fastback, but I like the looks of it, so I got that. And let's show you inside the trunk here while we're at this end of the car. That's kind of an interesting story. And you see the trunk has plenty of torque to raise that deck lid as soon as you turn the key. And the key to that is originally on this car there was one torsion bar. And you can see right there, there are the torsion bars. And the key to this success on this one is the finding of another torsion bar and the installation of that. You see, without that spoiler, this deck lid doesn't weigh very much, and one torsion bar is enough to raise that and hold it up without any problem. But when you put that torsion bar, or when you put that spoiler on, it essentially adds a lot to the weight of that deck lid. So you need the two torsion bars, and I was able to find one of those used, so that got put in when the car was painted. This is the original type plastic covering for the floor of the trunk. I painted the sides here, that aluminum, and also the taillight housings here, and underneath I painted that also. I found that there is an entry point for water. You see, these are brand new seal around here, around the deck lid. But the entry point for water was right back here where that trim comes through the back bulkhead. So a little bit of, as they call in the trade, I guess, dum-dum, a little bit of that around there effectively seals entry water in there and that. So okay, here's the jacking instructions, which is a reproduction of the original. This has a light here, and you can see the electrical connection going down to the wiring harness in the back here. Essentially rust-free. Well, a couple pinholes here and there, but nothing of any serious nature. Alright, let's take a look around this way. These wheels are a nice addition. They're American racing wheels, and the car, I got the car 5 years ago or so, and it had the black steel wheels that were the originals, but I couldn't have that. I had to get something more dressed up, and these are just perfect. They go in with the Mustang. They look like the Mustang wheels, and that looks like a powder-coated gray interior there as spokes. Goes fine with the car. That brings up the paint. This was kind of like a robin's egg blue when I got it, which I think was the original color of the car. It was a very light blue, which was a popular Ford color for years. But I changed it to Vista Blue, which was about 2005, I think it was introduced, and I liked it. And I had the other painted, a two-tone striping there of, I think it's titanium, which was another Ford color at the time. So, and also the hood has that center section of titanium. I thought the car needed a little dress up here, and so I had that Mustang painted on that pillar on both sides. And let's look further here. I put the 351 to answer any questions about what was under the hood, 351 Cleveland. The front air dam is also associated with the fastback, but I thought I'm going to get that. There is the new bumper, and I put these driving lights on, and they actually do help a lot at night where there's not much lighting. That grill is a reproduction new grill, and there you can see the effect of the two-toning. I like that effect there. There was a red, white, and blue car at this vintage 72 that was built, kind of an anniversary for the 1976 celebration of American independence. And I was thinking of buying one of those. It was actually on eBay at the time when I bought this, but I decided not to. Here's a nice little typical bug here in Florida. Got caught in the bumper, which will put him down here. This is a moth, I guess. It's cool. It's nice green and tan. There you go. That's a nice combination with a little pink on the underside. How about that? Big eyes. Well, unfortunately, his antenna got a little beat up there. Okay, so the moth aside, let's continue on. By the way, that Arrive Alive was you can see the 72 year, and that was a front license that Florida made themselves. You can see it is a stamp. It is a license plate made by the prison system, but of course it doesn't specify the specific car, but they sold that as an attempt to increase awareness of safety. Ironically, at that time, they had some problems a little bit later with people at rest stops were assaulted, and they had to increase the guards at rest stops. So that was a little bit later. So I remember going west and getting mocked because of the Arrive Alive, because of the publicity that there was with the Florida rest stops being unsafe places. But you don't hear about that anymore. So I guess at this point they're pretty safe. Okay, we're still going around the car here. There's a new door handle there. And let's go inside the car a bit. These windows are the door windows are essentially new windows. Well, they're not new, but they're in very good condition. The originals had a lot of scratches in them. I still have the originals just in case. It's odd that they don't make new windows, new side windows. They make windshields, and they evidently make back windows, but they don't make the side windows. One of those little things you find out when you're in the midst of restoring a car. Those speakers are added. That's new upholstery. The upholstery was in pretty bad shape, although the car was a low mileage car. New upholstery. That pad there, they essentially come through as black, and you have to dye them. Well, you can see I'm going to have to re-dye that one. It's a little worse for wear. Here is some Velcro, and the reason the Velcro is there is because I'm a short person, and these seat belts, I had the old seat belts taken out, and I put in these new ones. And the problem with them is that they cross over and would hit my neck and was very uncomfortable. So I put Velcro on the other side of the seatbelt, as you can see right here, right there. And so when that goes up over, it gives you a little bit of breathing room. It attaches here, and so you have a little room to breathe. Now, oddly enough, this doesn't. Some of the older seatbelts have like a little detent, and you can pull them and let them snap back. This does not have a detent. There was some criticism that people were giving themselves too much slack, and so the seatbelt became useless in an accident because it allowed their torso to go too far forward. So, as a safety measure, they didn't have any slack in these at all. So, I created my own slack. Here we have the dash. And you can see this is a Grande because of the little thing in here. The original Grande had a vinyl roof, but that was gone when I got this car. Here are the air conditioning vents, and there's a courtesy light. You don't see courtesy lights anymore in that central position, but that was common at the time. A couple of my things here. That drive for your school, that was Ford promotion. That's the Magic, Orlando Magic basketball team. That's CF Pony Parts, CJ Pony Parts, I mean. That was a decoration on a cake, which was a magnet, so I had to. And by the way, the dashboard is metal. In these days of plastic, everything, this was real metal. Over here, the gauge faces were black. These 71 through 73 Mustangs were notorious for very poor vision at night. You really couldn't see anything. So this is electroluminescent. Now this is brilliant sunlight out here, so you're probably not going to see much, but I can tell you this, that when I turn on the lights, and you can hear the warning buzzer, there's a blue, right now there's a blue light. And at night, that's very pronounced. So you have no excuse for going way over the speed limit on this. And those faces just kind of, there is a stickum on the other side, and that just pastes right on. And then you have to wire it. You have to take, essentially, you have to take the dash. You have to take this instrument cluster out to do it. But if you have bad warning lights, you're going to do that anyhow, so it's not all that much of a problem. Although you have to figure out, to get that instrument cluster out, you have to disconnect the speedometer cable. And for some reason or other, that was giving me fits until I found out the trick for that. And that's putting a little mirror in the back so you can see what you're doing. And then it came out right away. There's a little bit of a... I don't know what you call a tab, yeah. A tab that you press down, and it disconnects the cable without a problem. These are warning lights here. They all work. Let me show you. Take out the key here. And I'll start her up here. See, all the warning lights are on. Raise the air is on right now, so is the buzzer. We close the door so you can hear it without the buzzer. Now it's on high. I hate situation where all the warning lights don't work. You can see the turn signals work, and when you have high beams on, that little horse down at the bottom comes on. I'll put the high beams on, which is, there you go, see it's red. Now you can see that blue hue. And by the way, you can change that to green, blue, green. Here's the little control board right down there. Okay. It had an AM radio in it, which drove me crazy. So I put in an AM/FM radio. It's Ford radio, and it has presets on both FM and AM, so that works fine. It's stereo. That's why I had the speakers installed in the back. Unfortunately, the kick panels here, we've got a foot-operated parking brake over on this side, so there's no leeway there to put in a speaker in the front. So I have dual speakers up there where the single speaker used to be. So that's, not too bad. But I have the bias is controlled here, and the bias is towards the back speakers right there. Okay, we'll hit the... I'll turn her off. Alright, now, let's check under the hood. Oh, well, this vinyl headlining was done when I got the car. It's in good shape, but I had to put that light in there. The wiring was there for the light, but there was no light. They just kind of went right over it. And these visors were in good shape too. By the way, the mileage on it is 32,317, so it's a low mileage vehicle for a 72. Okay, and let's see, what else can I tell you? Oh, the clock there. The clock that was in here didn't work. So I went on eBay. I got a lot of stuff for this car on eBay. And there's a working clock. And I have a very small ampere fuse that controls it, and it works fine. Perfect. Okay, and you can see this is an air-conditioned car from the factory because it's got the AC sector over here on the left. Alright. Now, there was an instrument cluster pack that did away with the warning lights over here and, in effect, put a tack there. And the gauges were over here, where the Grande is, and that was a nice feature. By the way, there's the control for the driving lights right there. It lights up when the driving lights are on. These door panels are new. The originals were in bad shape. But the back panels there, they're original to the car. The seat belts that were in the car from the factory had a shoulder belt part that was hooked up there to the top of the window bulkhead there, and that's how it was stored. So what would happen is people oftentimes would put on the lap belt but would not hook up the shoulder belt. So, and that part was missing in the car when I got it. There was the lap belt, but no shoulder harness. So I just replaced the whole assembly with new belts. And it's good to, I mean, original is fine, but especially when a car is in an accident, if it ever was in an accident, you want to replace the seat belts, so they say. Because they probably were stressed and may not be able to fulfill their function as well with a second crash. So, alright, let me show you the engine.